Honda just shook up the industry with cheap cruisers, and everyone's buzzing about how they keep pulling off stunning affordability without skimping on performance. It's the kind of news that makes old school bikers raise an eyebrow and new riders line up for a test ride. It's exactly why we're diving deep today. Ready to see how Honda is making cruisers more accessible than ever? Let's hop on and ride straight into the details. Honda began selling motorcycles in the US back in 1959. And by the 1980s, they were in full swing with cruiser-style bikes that challenged established American brands. Models like the Honda Shadow, first introduced in 1983, showcased a sleek V-twin engine design and aimed to capture the hearts of riders looking for a reliable but stylish cruiser. It quickly became known for its comfortable ride, straightforward engineering, and legendary Honda longevity. This move placed Honda on the cruiser map in a big way, sparking competition and forcing everyone to step up their game on both cost and build quality. With each new release, they refined the balance between comfort, performance, and price. By the time the Honda Rebel line hit in 1985, the company's reputation for approachable motorcycles had already been cemented. Now, fast forward to the modern era, and you can see that same pioneering spirit in the current wave of budget-friendly Honda cruisers. Today's lineup, highlighted by the Rebel series and classic Shadows, continues what started decades ago, offering bikes that remain accessible to a broad base of riders without feeling stripped down or cheap. Honda's legacy of innovation and cost consciousness has kept them a top contender in the cruiser segment. It's a reputation built over decades of producing solid machines that offer maximum enjoyment for the least strain on your wallet. For years, beginner cruisers often came with two big drawbacks. Either they were underpowered or they compromised on important features. That's where the Honda Rebel 300 steps in. Launched with an MSRP around $4,700, the Rebel 300 aims to give new riders a taste of classic cruiser style fused with modern engineering. The heart of the machine is a 286cc single-cylinder engine that's nimble enough in traffic, but still capable of handling longer weekend rides. It's got a low seat height of around 27.2 inches, which, according to many rider reviews on motorcycle.com, makes it extremely approachable for those who might feel intimidated by larger bikes. The low stance and light curb weight, roughly 364 pounds, allow you to flat-foot at stoplights and maneuver parking lots with confidence. Despite being labeled entry-level, the Rebel 300 doesn't shortchange you on comfort or riding feel. The minimalist design, LED lighting, and updated digital gauge cluster deliver a modern vibe that's easy on the eyes. A lot of entry-level bikes have historically skimped on style, but Honda clearly put thought into the Rebel 300's aesthetics. Its blacked-out looks and stripped-down bodywork capture an edgy vibe that appeals to young riders, while still carrying enough substance to make seasoned riders nod in approval. This is a true gateway cruiser, opening the door to motorcycling without the sticker shock that can scare new riders away. If you love the Rebel 300's design but crave a bit more grunt, the Rebel 500 is the perfect step up. Priced at around $6,500, it features a 471cc parallel twin engine that Honda fans might recognize from other mid-range offerings in the lineup. This tried-and-true power plant delivers around 46 horsepower and a smooth torque curve, making the Rebel 500 more than capable of highway merges and weekend getaways. From the outside, the Rebel 500 looks nearly identical to its smaller sibling, sporting the same classic lines and modern touches. The difference lies in the extra punch you feel once you twist the throttle. Riders often comment in places like Cycle World forums that it strikes a sweet spot between agility and cruising comfort. Big enough to keep up with friends on heavier bikes, yet nimble enough to dart through city traffic without feeling cumbersome. As for everyday livability, the Rebel 500's ergonomics mirror the 300's. Comfortable seat, mid-positioned foot controls, and a handlebar reach that doesn't punish your arms on longer treks. Thanks to its moderate seat height and balanced weight distribution, the 500 remains just as approachable to shorter or less experienced riders. Simply put, it's a bike that grows with you. Whether you're commuting daily or planning a multi-state trip, you can trust the Rebel 500 to deliver a solid cruiser experience without draining your savings account. When Honda decided to give the Rebel a big bore upgrade, people took notice. The Rebel 1100, starting at around $9,500, is powered by a retuned version of the Africa Twin's 1084cc parallel twin engine. This means it's got serious muscle, somewhere in the neighborhood of 86 horsepower and a boatload of torque. Yet it remains surprisingly gentle in everyday riding situations, thanks in part to Honda's refined fueling and a dual-clutch transmission option that can shift automatically. The styling remains unmistakably Rebel, a stripped-down aesthetic with a modern twist. Honda updated the suspension and added advanced features like throttle-by-wire, selectable riding modes, and cruise control. These are not typical bells and whistles you'd expect on a cruiser in this price range, and that's exactly why the Rebel 1100 has heads turning. It's breaking the old rules by mixing cruiser attitude with sportier performance. On longer trips, that power translates to easy highway cruising. and there's more than enough juice left in the tank to overtake traffic without batting an eye. For folks who crave that cruiser look but aren't willing to give up spirited riding dynamics, the Rebel 1100 strikes a balance that's hard to match. Plus, you can deck it out with Honda accessories from saddlebags to windshields, making this an even more versatile machine. Essentially, it's modern muscle in a cruiser's clothing, proving that affordable doesn't have to mean watered down. While the Rebels might steal the spotlight these days, Honda's Shadow series still carries considerable weight in the cruiser segment. Launched in the early 80s, the Shadow line introduced riders to Honda's interpretation of the classic V-twin American cruiser. Two noteworthy models currently in the lineup are the Shadow Phantom and the Shadow Aero, each offering its own spin on timeless cruiser styling. The Shadow Phantom, starting around $8,000, sports a darker stripped-down aesthetic. With blacked-out components and minimal chrome, it appeals to those who want a sleek, modern look rather than the traditional cruiser shine. On the flip side, the Shadow Aero, also starting around $7,800 to $8,000 depending on trim, leans more heavily into old-school design elements. You'll see a more pronounced front fender and a splash of classic chrome, reminiscent of mid-century motorcycles. Both models come with a 745cc liquid-cooled V-twin engine, producing easygoing torque that's perfect for relaxed cruising. They also share user-friendly traits like a low seat height, around 25.8 inches, and a shaft drive system that cuts down on chain maintenance. According to MotorcycleCruiser.com, the Shadow series has long been praised for reliability. Some owners report decades of smooth operation with routine maintenance. So if you prefer that retro vibe to the modern Rebel style, the Shadow Phantom and Aero remain worthy contenders in Honda's stable of wallet-friendly cruisers. One reason these Honda cruisers turn heads is their distinct blend of modern looks and classic outlines. While Harley-Davidson or Indian might lean heavily into heritage styling, Honda's approach is a bit more forward-thinking. You'll see a mix of blacked-out components, minimalist fenders, and LED headlights across the Rebel lineup, features that give them a contemporary look without losing the fundamental cruiser silhouette. The Shadow series, meanwhile, remains anchored in timeless design, giving buyers a choice between modern or vintage cues. Comfort, however, is a must in the cruiser world. Honda ensures its seats are well contoured and typically set at a rider-friendly height. For many middle-aged bikers, that's a relief to the knees and lower back. The foot peg positioning skews mid-forward, reducing strain on the hips, while handlebars are placed in a way that keeps your torso upright. These bikes aim to reduce fatigue whether you're on a quick trip around town or a road trip across states. There's also an emphasis on customization, because Honda has standardized many of the frame and mounting points. Adding accessories like a backrest for your passenger or luggage rack tends to be straightforward. On the Rebels, you can swap out the passenger seat and foot pegs, while on the Shadows, you can add slip-on exhausts or windshields to match your touring aspirations. The result is a set of cruisers that can be tailored to your exact style and comfort preferences, all while staying within a more affordable price bracket. Despite their cheap cruiser label, Honda's machines are anything but disposable. Honda built its reputation on engines that can take a beating. From the single cylinder on the Rebel 300 to the V-twin on the Shadow series, these power plants are engineered to last. Routine maintenance, oil changes, chain checks, or shaft drive in the Shadows, and fresh tires can keep these bikes rolling for tens of thousands of miles without major issues. Performance-wise, Honda strikes a careful balance. None of these cruisers are high-octane monsters like a Ducati Diavel or a performance bagger. Instead, they excel at delivering a smooth, reliable, and predictable ride. The smaller Rebels aren't built for 0 to 60 blitzes, but they're responsive in urban environments and can handle relaxed highway speeds. The Rebel 1100 and V-twin Shadows, on the other hand, provide enough torque to make merging and overtaking a breeze. Riders and reviewers on sites like Cycle World and Motorcycle.com frequently highlight Honda's build quality. Controls feel tight, transmissions shift smoothly, and the fuel injection is refined. The brand's hallmark reliability reduces the dreaded worry of potential breakdowns, making them great choices for folks who want a hassle-free cruiser experience. Part of this reliability also comes from Honda's robust dealership networks. Should you need parts or service, Honda shops are scattered across the country, ensuring you're never too far from help. Essentially, these bikes deliver a comfort-first ride with enough performance to make every journey rewarding. When Honda introduced cruisers like the Shadow in the 80s, it signaled a culture shift. American riders, once fiercely loyal to domestic brands, began branching out, lured by Honda's blend of reliability, user-friendly design, and yes, lower price tags. This broadened the cruiser market's appeal, attracting people who hadn't grown up around motorcycles but suddenly found themselves able to afford one. In many ways, Honda cruisers became the gateway drug for countless folks to discover motorcycling. The Rebel name, which started back in 1985, became especially iconic for new riders and returning bikers. Its platform was used in rider education courses nationwide, making it a familiar sight for anyone learning the ropes. Over the decades, that cultural footprint only grew. As Honda evolves, pushing boundaries with models like the Rebel 1100 with its advanced tech, and maintaining staples like the Shadow Phantom, it's clear they're not content to rest on past success. This ongoing innovation keeps them ahead in a segment that's always balancing tradition with modernity. Looking ahead, rumors swirl about further expansions of Honda's cruiser lineup, possibly with alternative engine configurations or even an electric powertrain to meet changing market demands, as teased by various industry sites reporting on Honda's EV roadmap. One thing remains certain: Honda's strategy of delivering high-value bikes at approachable prices isn't going anywhere. That tradition of inclusivity and accessibility ensures that middle-aged riders, newcomers, and old pros alike can find a Honda cruiser that fits their style, budget, and love for the open road. Honda's affordable cruisers stand as proof that you don't need to shell out a small fortune to own a piece of two-wheeled excitement. Each model brings something unique to the table, whether you're a beginner testing the waters or a veteran looking for a dependable partner on the highways. It's hard to argue against the value packed into these bikes. If this rundown revved your engine, hit that subscribe button, join our community, and let's keep rolling together. Ride safe and stay free.